Hi, my name is Packy, creator of Pack Rat's Shack. I upcycle furniture, build out of pallet wood, finish interior spaces, and have a vendor booth for my creations. Welcome to my world. So yet again, I've ran into another little hurdle. I wish I would have discovered this earlier before I had drywalled around the opening, but now that that is done, I have discovered that the opening for the door stops at 19.5 inches, which obviously is not going to allow for the depth of the vanity, which is at least 22 inches deep. So I've started building my little section of wall that will give me the proper clearance. This video has been in the making since I arrived down here. Editing it now really takes me back to the earlier challenges that I've almost already forgotten. And by the way, the electrician stopping by this morning fell through, and the breaker that I had working is not working anymore. So I have no power again, doing everything the old-fashioned way, and this is the saw I have on hand. So anyways, one day after another, 20 hurdles each day, and I'm still pressing on. So my problem here is I can't find a long enough scrap 2x6 out there in the scrap pile. So I just ended up spending about an hour turning over stuff through this scrap pile. I have 3 extremely long 2x10s, I believe they are 2x10s, but I could rip them down on my table saw that I brought down and was prepared for business on, but without power, that's unlikely. So I'm trying to figure out my way around getting my little projects done with no power and not the proper supplies, and no way of getting the proper supplies unless they get delivered to me, because with all of the rain I still have the flat tire, and my poor little vehicle's been parked there for going on close to 2 weeks now, waiting for the ground to dry out enough to get a jack underneath it. So now that I have electric and I can see back in here, I am trying to get going on my bathroom, but I can't do my bathroom until I get the drain and the incoming water into Mom's bathroom upstairs, which I have been spending about 3 hours on today already, and I did get the drain pretty much over and up to where it belongs. And I figured out how I'm going to do the hot and cold water, but I don't have all the tools I need in order to do that. I need to pick up some PEX connections and tools in order to finish that out. So then I was going to go ahead and start working on my drain for my shower and getting it to go from here to over there. But I have not had a successful rate of cutting a straight line with a Sawzall. And now I'm getting ready to work on the space above my vanity, which behind this wall is the actual 2x6 wall that I've already insulated. That's what's actually holding and supporting the next floor and roof up. So I can do whatever I want to this false wall, which is just giving me a straight flush line across that side of the bathroom. This is it. Ta-da! a square. We're into the middle of July. I got down here at the end of April, and my intentions were to just get started on this bathroom. And you can tell that really isn't what happened. I got a little bit of the drywall up, but I had to stop before getting to the plumbing. I had plumbed a drain over to Mom's tub and pulled a rookie mistake and forgot to put in the P-trap. So then earlier this week, I actually did cut the drain out and fit in all of these pieces for a P-trap. But you can see it's just slightly tilted in order to clear the space. If I put it right underneath the drain, the water lines would be in the way. And I let it go so I could think about it. It's not cemented in, and I wanted to try to find out if this would be an issue. And you can tell by looking at it that water would stay low and below everything and seal everything off, but I couldn't find anywhere that it was acceptable and possibly even against code to leave it like this. So I'm going to now cut out this extension piece here and try to move everything just over so it'll clear the water lines and then come down hopefully ahead of the truss enough to where on the front side of the curve we have just enough space. Closer to a month ago that I went ahead and I finished plumbing in the hot and cold water lines. So I popped them up through the floor here, so after the shutoffs get put on and installed, and of course I'm going to do the flooring and stuff before I install the tub. But the floor mounted faucet that Mom got is actually going to be in this location. So I had previously drilled holes for them to come up here, only to find out after I pulled the floor mounted faucet out that they can't come up right there. They've got to be connected to the shutoffs and then travel along the floor and then just screw into the bottom. So anyway, plumbing's not my thing. I actually can lose my temper pretty well with it, and it takes me hours to get one thing done that would take a professional a few minutes to do, it seems. And then since I'm so far from the hardware store, I got to make my trips count. So I generate a list of all of my needs, which sometimes takes several days or a couple of weeks before it makes it worth the trip. By that point, when I go and get the supplies I need and I'm back, I'm not in the brain capacity of attacking plumbing. Instead, there's more constructive things that I've already got my head wrapped around that I keep going on. So then I've inserted myself into plumbing procrastination mode, which is why we're now in the middle of July and still don't have a functioning bathroom. But I'm going to go ahead and attempt to finish this drain, adjusting it over hopefully 3 to 4 inches to clear that pipe and get it a little more straight up and down for the P-trap. And then I'll be able to finish putting in my soundproofing or sound barrier insulation and then drywalling the ceiling. After I realized what I had ran for the drain, I forgot to put in a P-trap because I don't deal with plumbing all the time and I had tunnel vision. Anyways, I had to cut it all back out. I've redone the drain and put in the P-trap here. And while I was doing the last bit to go from the PVC for my drain pipe into this OSNB freestanding tub drain, and this is ABS. You know, you're going from PVC to ABS. And because I'm not a plumber 24/7 and learned all the trade, I was using my standard PVC cement, which says for PVC, CPVC, and ABS. So I glued in my ABS to the PVC with this. Don't fall for it, folks. This is mislabeled. It does not work. You can wait a half hour, several hours, it's still going to come apart. So I had to clean all of that goop off because it never really set up. And then I re-sanded it nice and smooth. Re-cleaned the PVS pipe just now when I finished doing it correctly with this actual ABS to PVC glue, which is drippy and goopy and goes all over the place, but it still worked and it's holding. So I get to move on with my bathroom installation process now. It'd be so nice to have like a shower and a toilet again. It's not like a real necessity, but it does make life easier. Get this. Shakes all over the place. How that's not gonna make a straight cut. As you can see in this footage, my brain gets focused on doing something right, and then I struggle shooting for perfection, when in reality, it's really not that important. Nobody's gonna see this. In some cases, I wish I could just force myself to let go and walk away. So after a lot of struggle and cutting out this area deeper, which you can see the line where I'm coming up, and then it tapered back into this stud too. After cutting that for more space, we've got it fit in, which was a lot of struggles and led to a very frustrating day for me, admittingly. And so now, before we actually install the shower pan, I need to mark exactly where the drain is coming down so I can lift this back out and finish my drain transition from where it was located to this new location. So I'm hoping a little bit of water will mark the spot. I'll measure 21.5, and I'd rather it be long than short because this is my longest piece of scrap, so then I cut it longer than that. So I'll probably be trimming it back a lot, but I just don't want it too short. Yeah, it looks... I've never done anything like this before. Back in Indiana, I even hired somebody to replace my bathtub and shower install. And I guess back there it was because I didn't want to be out of the bathroom for more than one day because Mom was living with me and having to get ready to go to work and stuff like that. So I didn't want to be without. And here I've been without, I mean, since the end of April, and now it's the middle of August. So if I can't get it done in one day, it doesn't matter. But anyways, I'm just struggling myself all the way through here. And I think I'll be proud of myself when I actually get it done and accomplished. So that's the end goal. Doing something you've never done before, but being pleased at the outcome. What I'm doing here is it's not taking off a lot, I mean, but it does just bevel that just slightly so that you get it fed in and it goes inside the other piece smoothly. And you're getting off any burrs that would keep your glue from making a solid, seamless joint. If this is the last rough-in check or not. Might not be, but we'll see. Starting to get better at sliding it in where it needs to go. And one right there, we can move it into place. Ooh, I think, by golly, we got it. And I made marks on everything so I can put it back together like a puzzle piece. Okay, may the force be with me. seems over too far. I hope that's not the case. I think it is. This is why I hate dealing with plumbing. I can try my best to make sure I have everything all prepared, and it's still all screwed up. And we saw already how hard it was to get down in here and cut. I'm just so ticked off. I'm just so ticked off. All right, I either let the world defeat me or I figure out how to defeat the world. So put my big girl pants on and quit complaining and just figure it out. I can't make another mistake. There's no more space. So I gotta see if I can find another piece that is 20 5/8. Oh my gosh, guys, this is my lucky day. Wow. Okay, let me go cut this to size. Okay, so is what I learned from that last mistake is that I am not going to worry about that last extension piece right now. But because of progressive lenses and not being able to see straight lines, I'm going to keep the shorter extension piece because it gets it so close to up here that then I can tell it's lined up, but there's still a space around it where it won't like offset anything down lower. So I've already double checked and triple checked, and I've made my marks. I'm going to try to rough and fit it following my marks, and then lower the shower pan into place to make sure everything lines up based off of putting it back together from the marks I made. Yes, this is all doable. Yep. So once I get that extension piece all the way up there, it's in there. So now it's about making the right size extension piece. 4 5/8 coming up. So all of this is solid. There's no way of ruining the position anymore. I got this one all done and cleaned up as far as sanded smooth with no little loose debris on it. We're gonna see how close we are. Perseverance, sorry. We're not worrying about the pan yet because there's still more prep work for that. So I finally did it. I got my drain rearranged from being a center drain to a left-hand drain. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take lunch while I review the tile ready shower installation plan that is on YouTube. So I've already watched this a couple of times and I've got a plan, but seeing how this just all went down with my plan, I think it wouldn't hurt to review it again to make to minus a half inch, and that's going to be our depth of mortar. Oh, it looks awful deep. I hope I have enough. So this is my easiest way of mixing mortar because I don't have a high-powered drill to really use a paddle bit to stir it in a bucket with how deep it would be in a bucket. So I'm going to attempt to mix up enough mortar fast enough to get the bed put all down in here, and then use my paint stick that I made a marker on to try to make sure it's consistently even all the way through. It says to keep it about an inch away from all of the edges, so being the sides that I can pull this out and I can actually drop the pan on it and then maybe pull this out from the sides, I went ahead and put blocks basically here on the edges to keep it away about an inch. And I'll keep it away from the back about an inch and the front about an inch. And then it'll be all about shimmying it down, and before I remove the blocks, remembering to put the PVC glue, cleaner and glue on. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon, and I'm just getting started on another thing that I've never done before, which can be nerve-wracking, but I'm hoping to get it done this evening so that all of these worst tasks that I've created in my mind to be the worst tasks for me can maybe be done, and I can then proceed forward. So let's see if I can pull this. So here I am in the middle of creating myself another problem. This part would have worked out so much smoother if I would have just thought to put plastic over that dry gravel and concrete mix that I used to fill the void. Why I didn't think of that until I was already hip deep in the problem, I don't know, because all of the videos suggest putting plastic down when pouring the bed over wood substrate. Well, concrete mix absorbs moisture from poured cement even faster. I was already shimmying the shower pan into position going over the glued-in drain when I discovered it wasn't moving any further. The problem dawned on me just in the nick of time. I barely was able to lift that shower pan out of position in time, hurry up and remove the stiff setup cement from that middle void area, and hurry up and clean the drain pipe and re-glue it, and then still struggling to shimmy it down into place to where I finally not only stepped inside the pan, which is a no-no, I had to go and jump it into place. Everything got so stressed and chaotic so quickly that I just had to remove the camera and forget about documentation. I just didn't have time for that, and plus it was in the way. So I apologize for the lack of coverage, but really, if you can just imagine a banshee running around with its head cut off and still managing to say some choice words, well, that's what you're missing. So it's in place. There's screws in the studs just above the pan to hold it into position until it cures completely. And then I just proceeded to clean up the floor from where all of the removed concrete landed and just poured some footers right outside the patio. Now, Miss Franny wasn't too sure of this, and she started to walk on it. But when she felt the moisture and the softness underneath her paw, she decided against it. Now, the surface area already had a skimmed over dry coating, so nothing was left on her paw, and there's no concern there. But I am very grateful for the paw print that she left me, because shortly thereafter she left with the kittens.
And this is just such a neat reminder of her long-term visit with me while she had her kittens.
I just got through using the grinder to go around here to flatten out the hump that was kind of up to the drain pipe. Okay, I think I am done mudding my bedroom. And here's a look at where we're at with that. I've covered up the furnace cold air return and continued in the bathroom. And into the closet. I've just finished with what I think is the last layer. Actually, there is a possibility I'll have to do the inside of both the doorways again. So I'll wait to see how that looks after it dries. But I think tomorrow I'll get on to sanding all of this, which is why I covered up the furnace cold air return.
Here you can see that the majority of the mud gets wiped back off, only leaving it in the low-lying areas that needed filled. It's so much easier doing this before the last coat of paint.
So, as you can see, things are coming along, but there's still many things to do. I really need to just quit procrastinating and get that shower done. I'm sure you noticed in the pictures that there's other things that are done. All of that stuff will be shown in the continuation of the Bathroom Chronicle. As always, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate your viewing support. And until next time, stay safe out there.